Hi folks, Bob here. If you've been following Prehistoric Kingdom's development, you know that just a couple of days ago, update 16 dropped, and with that came vivariums. And with the vivariums came 12 animals, 2 old friends and 10 new ones. This is the small vivarium on screen now, called the box. It's the smallest one, and some creatures don't fit in this size. So you do have to pay attention to that when you're putting your animals in. This is the small size. This is pretty much what the vivarium, previously called an aviary, was. This is the large, which is about twice the size of the previous one. And you're also looking at different kinds of systems that they can represent, either aquatic or arboreal or terrestrial. And this is the largest, which is currently terrestrial. The terrestrial ones will change with burrowing animals, which is part of why it's got that high dirt level there in the large one. So here's our first animal in it, vivarium presentation. I have used the ability to hide the frames that we just saw in order to build a framework around it using modular pieces. Right now I'm blocking the back gate, which is the normal access point. So I don't really know if in-game this one will get surfaced. But it contains the smallest of the vivarium animals at the moment. It's a turtle. Sahona something or other. I'm not actually familiar with this animal. It is a prehistoric turtle that comes from the same place as Simosuchus, who we'll be seeing a little bit later. And it will come out on land. At the moment, all of the semi-aquatic animals that we have will come out on the tiny bits of land once in a while. But they really seem much more at home in the water. This guy's about to take a walk and discover that there's a rock in his way, so he's going to phase through it. So we're probably going to mostly ignore that and move on to the other vivariums. Back out of that one, and you can see the small size is what we'll deal with next. On the right we'll get to. On the left we have sort of a classic collection of bird presentations with the mesh and the animals inside. This is Microraptor, and it's had a glow up, and it now can do a lot more moving around in its habitat than you saw before. You just saw that one take off in the background. And that's part of the whole new system of waypoints that the animals have. And those are decision points in the AI for them to move and change and do stuff. You can see the iridescence has been emphasized on the new Microraptor. Yeah, they spent a lot of time hiding in the bushes, not a lot of flying from those guys. This is the tropical version, I think. I think it's the tropical, maybe the temperate. Hard to be sure. This is the desert. And in the desert, we have Archaeopteryx. That's a female that just flew to that branch, and the male hopped away. These animals got to glow up as well. And that is, in my book, a good thing. So back outside, you can see these each have their facades on the back, and that's something you can choose to have or not. This is Yiki, one of our new animals, and this is sort of the wyvern of the dinosaur world. You can see in this one I put the structure here that it just landed on. This is, I think, exclusive to the aerials. Very pretty birds. They remind me of Chinese golden pheasants with the skin that they have. They will do a lot of walking around. But the animations are not finished for any of the mini animals. The devs have said that there are more coming. For example, I don't think I've ever caught anyone eating so far. And behind us in this map is another small one, but treated in a different way. And that's one of the amazing things about these vivariums is their versatility. So this time I left the in-place glass and just changed the base to make it fit into an area. And this one has Compsognathus in it. And these guys have an animation shared with Coelophysis. They do the tail chasing thing, as you just saw. And small animals, you can have quite a few in the habitats. They're okay with that. There's a little bit of a bug for some of these animals of walking on air. And that seems to happen a lot when they're on this driftwood tree trunk thing that they can climb on, like this guy is standing there and hopping down from. So like I said, the devs will be upgrading the number of animations and also be fixing ones that are problematic. But they're on break till mid-January, so we all have to wait for that. They do like getting up on the high point there and looking around. That's kind of cool. Almost all the terrestrials seem to be willing to do that. Maybe they all can do it. I haven't had time to sit around and watch them do every possible thing that they could do. This is modular pieces around the bottom of the vivarium, and you can actually put modular pieces into the vivarium as well. But we don't have the map of where the animal animations take them to. So you might end up blocking a route for them or giving them something that they will have to phase through. So in reality, I think there's still a lot more to come with the elements of this update. So we'll move down the way to a large vivarium. And this one, I use modular pieces to frame it again. But I also left an opening for the burrow you see there in the lower right-hand corner. Not that I was able to catch any of the animals in that while I was recording. This is Peltophyllus. Peltus? I always confuse which order those two name components work. And this is a little horned armadillo from the Cenozoic. Neat little animal. They kind of caught the armadillo scurry feel, even if they scurry slowly. And there he goes. The videos are very short for the animals this time around because we got a lot of ground to cover. This is another large, I think, where I have nullified all of the surrounding elements that can be in a vivarium and then treated it like it's a habitat, sinking the terrarium down into the ground so it's roughly level with the ground, and then trying to match it as well as possible, adding some plants around the edges. You can see my albino Diictodon. It's a dicynodont. So all of these animals have the mutations available to them. Stand up, little guy. These guys, I think, are sort of Paleozoic meerkats in terms of the way they're presented, which is part of why I made the habitat the way this one is. It's a lot like some meerkat habitats that I've seen in zoos. So this is our almost mammal, stem mammal for the game. Peltophyllus was the other. The devs have said they're going to get full behind doing vivarium animals. They're a little bit easier for them to do, so they can pump out more of them in the same amount of time. We'll see what comes. And down here, yet another large one for another animal. And this time I built a modular aviary around the vivarium. so that you can see that that's an option as well. And this is Mononicus. This is an Alvarezsaur, I think. Desert-loving animal, so you can see the desert terrain here, much like Diectodon. These guys are cool. They got a little digging, foraging kind of animation they've got going on, pecking at the ground and stuff. They're dimorphic. The male you see here has that little sort of bobolink quail kind of thing on its head, and the females do not have that. So most of the animals are not dimorphic. Whether some of them that perhaps should be, will be in the future, I don't know. And the next animal will be Simosuchus, and again, treating it like a habitat and trying to blend it into the ground so that you can see that you can get a pretty neat effect with these things, pretty naturalistic effect, and probably get the keepers even to take care of them if you put one of these things inside a habitat that is for a normal exhibit animal. So there's the Simosuchus. It is a vegetarian crocodile. And in the big habitat to help sell the illusion that these animals are free roaming. The big habitat is down here in the foreground where the guests can get close to it. Excuse me there. But there's another smaller one in the back so that when the animals cooperate, you can see movement and that animal in the distance, implying that they can move throughout the whole of this habitat, which is a pretty neat option. Next door to these guys, we've got a shift over to, or I should say back to, our semi-aquatic animals. I don't know if you can actually see the little guy in the back on there before we pull away. I think maybe if your eyesight's good. But I think that gives a very pleasing effect to setting this thing up as a habitat. So it was really nice to have that option. But we need to get back to our tour here. We're running over the usual amount that they'd like me to have because I don't have a lot of subscribers. But you guys, if you haven't, you can subscribe, and every bit helps. Liking it lets you know when stuff drops if you're subscribed, and it helps the channel as a whole. And this is a salamander, early salamander, Diplocaulus, sort of boomerang head guy. I think he looks really cool when he's swimming. And you can put a bunch of them in here, and they will walk on the bits of land that they have, past their buddies and all. So neat looking animal. Neat looking animal. It's got a little building in the back, and I actually set them up with a heat lamp, but because it doesn't have the full structure of the generic vivarium, I had to put it on a pole off the little building back there. The idea is that would be the keeper's access in there, and there is a door, so I'm hoping that would really make it work so the keepers can get in there. You will notice some strange reflections in the front of these aquarium type vivariums, because that's an artifact that the devs are puzzling over, that use this new water shader. So you will see some artifacts right now. It's something they will be looking at. It may not actually get solved till they actually more widely implement this water shader. And this is a large one. You can see the tank is much taller, the water is much deeper, and we have Tiktaalik in here. This is the oldest animal in game. It is a lobe-finned fish, so on its way to the line of tetrapods emerging onto land. Uh, and he looks really neat swimming in this water when you don't have the weird background blue effect like this shot has. So for building this one, I decided to leave two sides open for the guests and built a little separate area for them to go up the side there and look into the end of the tank. And that's where the info screen is. And it gives them a different perspective. It also gives them the chance to get a peek at the land area when the animals come out. Probably I'm going to need to build a step in this corner here so that people don't have to be jumping up to get a glimpse of them. I was holding it here. You can see some movement there, and we actually have to take the camera up in order to see them on that land area. I put some ivy along the top of the glass. I really would have loved to have some vines and stuff like that, but we don't have those in game yet. Maybe someday it'll be nice. So back down for another glimpse in the water. One of the places that the Tiktaalik will hang out is underneath that log. Gives it a very much a pike or muskellunge feeling to the animal, hanging out in those shaded spots waiting for lunch to come by. We have one more animal to do. So we're going to back out of this one and move along toward it in a bit. Why are we frozen there? Oops, should have cut that out. Anyway, back to giving the first person view for this walk through the park. Overall, the concept of these things is great and offer a lot of building opportunities. So for this one, the largest of the animals in this vivarium update, I built a viewing gallery as well, and this is Titanoboa. It's huge, but it's a snake, and in this video I think we're going to catch it briefly. I can't see it through the bushes there. Only one of these in one of these big habitats. It's really big. We have to duck to get into this little see the burrow area, and there was a snake in there when I was working. I'm not sure if we can see him through the strange reflectance or not, or if he's gone up onto the surface, which it's looking like he may have. There's been a lot of complaints about the snake not moving, but the devs coded this thing to be like a real zoo snake, and it mostly just sits there when you come around, maybe testing the air like it's doing in this video, maybe not. But it really does have a motion animation. I've seen it in action, but I didn't get video of it while I was working on this. Sorry about that. So a little aerial view so you can get a sense of what I did there. The walls are taking the cladding pieces, which are available modularly, and then basically mirroring them to make a very thin wall with the same piece. Useful technique, I think. So that's the overview, and that's pretty much it for this Not in a Park video. Thanks for stopping by. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, leave a comment. This is Dino Bob. You all take care. Happy holidays to all who celebrate, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye now.